Good morning. Today I'm going to start working on my furnace. This is the propane tank that I've begun preparing. I cut the top off of this, the handle if you will, to be able to get to the valve. On this particular tank I fought this thing tooth and nail to get it off. It came out relatively easy compared to an older model, which I have one over here. Y'all have to excuse the mess. I haven't cut my grass in a week, and I've been working around the yard, so I got stuff everywhere. But this is an older model. And on these older models like this right here, the valves are sealed in there with some kind of a, I don't know what the hell you'd call it. It's like an epoxy or some kind of sealer. But this is the valve out of the newer tank right here, and you can see it has these serviceable parts in it. It's a float, so I guess the liquid propane doesn't come up high enough, and this is a air vent so that air can go in as stuff comes out. This model here is the older valve out of the older tank over there. And you can see there's some kind of sealer here. There's also a sealer here, but this stuff here, in order to get it loose, you have to heat it up. And you can see I beat the hell out of that. I made it square trying to get a tube on it to get it out. Didn't work. I ended up having to heat it up. But what you have to do to heat it up is you have to remove that air vent plug right there, so air can get in, and you force water in through here. And what I did was I filled up the tank 2 or 3 times with water like that and let it drain, and it took several hours because it was so slow. But after I did it a couple of times, I took the torch and heated up the valve in the tank like right along here, and this stuff got soft, and it actually came out really easy after that. Otherwise there was no getting it out. But you can tell the difference in quality in the older stuff. This has a brass vent tube, where this one has an old plastic vent tube. I imagine if I had heated this up, it would have probably come out a little bit easier. But what I want to do today is I'm going to take this tank, and I just want to reiterate before I go any further. Do not try this unless you know what you're doing, because you could blow yourself up. With a scrap yard about 2 miles down the road, one day a guy went to work and he was scrapping some propane tanks, and he was cutting the tops off of them, you know, the valves and stuff, and he blew himself up. And what he should have done was filled that tank with water, and he did not do it. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know what their procedures are, but it was a big tank. It wasn't a small tank. It was like one of those giant 200-gallon ones. It was about 3 foot across, and it killed him dead on a doornail. So do not do this unless you have some inkling of what you're doing. You definitely want to avoid sparks and fire or large amounts of heat until you get the residual out of here. I have I cut this with my Sawzall to remove the handle so I could get to the valve to get it off. I filled the tank with water 4 or 5 times already. That's why it's rusty on top. It's been sitting around venting out. There's still some water down in there. I doubt you can see that. I can see it. But It doesn't even have that nasty smell anymore. The sulfur crap they put in there, so you know that it's gas coming out. So now what I want to do with this, y'all just be safe. That's the main thing if you decide to do this. What I want to do is I want to mark a line all the way around here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try a technique I saw online. I can't remember the guy's name, and if you're watching, I apologize. I would say his name is Making Something Out of Nothing, but I don't think that's who it is. It's someone else who actually made he put a square hole in the side and brought the square tube up, put a flat surface on it, and made a rocket stove where he cooks on it. He filled it with vermiculite, which is volcanic rock, and I guess by shooting the fire through it, he created a surface he could cook on. Which I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to cut the top off. I'm going to fill this with refractory cement, leaving a chamber inside with a chamber on the side of it for a pipe to go through to feed air into it, or a propane torch into it. And then the top will be filled with refractory cement, and this part will be cut out. Anyway, I'm just going to start working on it so you can see what I'm doing. I don't want to stand here and babble on and on. So let me get to work. Okay, I have marked the top where I want to cut it off. I've marked it with this line. And what I did was I made this little contraption here. I didn't have a whole lot of other stuff to really make a little fine working machine. You can see the point on the pencil is gone. But I notched out that board, that 2x4, and I screwed it to this 2x4 where I wanted it to mark. And that's basically a 45 right there to help me guide it along the bottom of the tank like this, and it laid out the mark all the way around. Now I need to set this over here out the damn way first, and then I'm going to make me a jig to hold this where I can cut it and rotate it. I just want it to hold it, and then I'll cut it, stop, rotate it, cut it, stop, rotate it in the jig, you know, until I get the top cut through. So let me get to work on that. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I took this old door and made me a bench out of it so I could work on it, and I built this frame underneath it to hold it so it doesn't roll away on me. Got my grinder here. I'm going to cut it slowly. I'll probably have to change my blade if it wears out too quick. This little handle here, I saw another gentleman using it. His YouTube channel is Making Something Out of Nothing, and he didn't do a video on this. I just asked him about it, and he told me he just welded a bolt onto the handle and put it on there and uses it. He actually uses his with this over here. This over here. I actually had to repair this because the bolt broke off. So I made me a spacer out of a piece of this pipe. And this is just to hold it where my hand's not near the blade, because I got a nice little scar right there from where it got away from me once before, caught my pants and cut the hell out of me. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to do this on camera. I never do anything on camera. I just show you the results afterwards so that I can maintain control of what the hell I'm doing. But I'm going to take the grinder and I'm going to cut this line, which I drew like I showed you earlier with the pencil on the board. And then I'm going to see if I can't keep it even where I can smooth it out. And we'll go from there. See you in a bit. Alright, well, I managed to get it cut off. Just finished. That's what it looks like on the inside. Need to do some cleaning so the mortar will fit in it, stick in it. and you see a little imperfection there in their weld. That could have been dangerous for somebody. And I almost changed it, but I said I'm going to make it last, and I stretched it out to the end. Time for a new one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up welding some little tits inside here so that it will hold the refractory cement inside of it. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to do the same and weld some little tits around the inside of it. I'm going to pack the bottom with refractory cement. That way if it cracks it won't fall out. Then I'm going to put something in the middle to fit, to leave room for the crucible, so I can pack the refractory cement in around it. But first I have to figure out what I'm going to use for my torch inlet. Go through the side. I want to go at an angle so that when it goes in, it goes around and around inside the furnace. It goes around and around. That way the fire kind of acts like a turbo. And forgive me if I'm babbling a little bit. It's 95 degrees out here in the sun. I don't know what that is in Celsius over there, but 95 degrees is like way hotter than all the other people are whining about. 33 degrees Celsius was at about 91. I live in South Carolina, then humidity is about 80%, so that means the heat index is about 110. So yeah, I'm sweating my ass off. I done changed my shirt twice because it done got soaking wet. But anyway, I got it cut. I'm going to clean the burrs off this edge here and plan my next step, which will probably be to cut the hole in the side. I just have to decide on what size. So let me get at it.